So I'm Isaiah, I'm from Faith Methodist Church, and I've been the pastoral team member for youth, or the youth worker, over there for about over a year. Yeah. So whenever I'm free, I like to doodle on paper, but what I doodle on the paper is basically what they call the Pascal's triangle in maths. So your binomial expansion, you have all the coefficients, right? I will actually just write down, don't know how many rows down, as much as the paper can fill. Yeah, so that's really boring. So I was born into a Christian family, and that was how I kind of got started on my journey as a Christian. Every week, follow mommy and daddy and the whole family to church and just seeing them serve, and all. But the defining moment was in youth. When I was 14, when there was an altar call at some church camp, and when Pastor Edwin prayed over me at that point in time, he said things that to me were quite private. I've never really told anyone about it. So after the altar call, I went to the site and I cried. I was just crying and crying. And that was the moment for me where I knew God was real. And that was the true beginning of how I was going to grow as a Christian also. Being very sure that God is real in my life. And then at different points in time also, that feeling or that experience of knowing how real God is when He speaks to me through other people, that also helped the journey along the way as well. Given that, whole family was serving, and plus the whole relationship with God and all, I think that also kind of strengthened my resolve to want to serve. So that kind of progressed from worship in the youth ministry into many different roles, as any youth can do, very, very garang, very on one. So take on like cell group leader take on all different kinds of things. There came a point where I was asked to become youth chair, because my home church is the Faith Methodist, and that was the turning point for me, because God gave me a very real sign to take on this youth ministry chairperson position. And it was since then that I also got a lot of help from our church's church office at that point in time as well. So that inspired me to also want to give back eventually, to also have that way of giving back, to fulfill the calling. But I just never knew when I would give back to church. I would serve full time and all. Until much later, where as I worked in the social sector for a while as a program executive, and then as a youth outreach worker, and then as a social worker, it was gravitating towards the youth group in that sense. And then I decided maybe social work's not the type for me, so I left. And then somehow this opportunity came to work at Faith. I was literally looking for a job, and I was scrolling through the Faith Methodist Church website, and then a message came in from the pastor to just ask me what's my full-time calling. So we had a chat, and the gears started rolling, and that's how I ended up at Faith Methodist. It's almost divine intervention kind of thing. Everything's part of God's plan, because it was something I never expected to happen. It's the kind of thing you would see in movies, where the moment you're at that place you think you're going to go, suddenly the message or the phone call comes in. Okay, alright, hi, yes, and answer the call. That's where we are. One hope I have for them is for each and every one of them to be able to have a personable relationship with God. As a youth, it is very tough to have to handle a lot of the pressures that you have outside of church and all, and to have to go through so many changes and all that without any assurance of what's going to happen to you. It can be very scary. Having that relationship with God, to know that God is real, can help them be very secure in what they're doing, to help them through life basically. And I think that's what I really hope for each and every one of them, to be able to experience God one way or another, to know that God is real, and to have that personal relationship with God.